Time now for the first race of the day in the Radical Owners Club Bikesports Championship. Now this one really wide open as far as the title is concerned. Several drivers stand a mathematical chance, but it's Phil Knibb in the ascendancy at the moment. He leads by 12 points. 18 minutes plus 1 lap is the race distance. The lights go out and away we go, and a lot of work to be done by Will Brown from the back of the grid, because he got just 1 lap in during practice. He's already made about 2 or 3 places on the way up to the first corner though in his Radical PR6, so that's the 0 car, the black car. Watch out for that one burning from the stern. Leaders though making their way down towards the old hairpin, and it is Phil Knibb from pole position that leads the way from John Paul Ivy in second place. First time we've seen John Paul Ivy during the course of this season, although he's won many bike sports races in the past. And third at the moment is Richard Webb, who made his debut in RGB earlier in the season, but switching over to bike sports this weekend in the ex-Mark Conroy car. There you can see the 0 car of Will Brown going through, having made up a couple more positions now. Some body work there seemed to go flying, I think it was. Maybe there was some contact between a couple of cars. Didn't quite see who that belonged to as the number 7 Julian Griffiths Radical PR6 goes through. Just trying to work this out. No, that looks like a piece of bodywork. It may just have flown off the number 85 car actually, which is Joe Stables. Joe, one of the championship contenders, missed the last meeting though, and therefore has a lot of work to do. As a change there for second place, we also had a change of lead. John Paul Ivy has got through, and now Phil Knibb has dropped down to third position behind Richard Webb. That's the Charles Adrian car, number 21. Looks like he's hit some problems. He's going to pull off at the Goddard hairpin. Charles, a long-time racer with the 750 Motor Club, previously raced in Formula 4. That's the 0 car of Will Brown as he continues his charge from the back of the grid. He's up there behind the similar car of number 50 Doug Carter. Now, Charles Adrian's got going again by the looks of it. Marshals have helped him to do so, but he goes straight into the pit lane. So number 21, Charles Adrian, who started on row 6 of the grid, I think he's going to be out of the race here. Just pulling into the pit lane. So there is Phil Knibb. Now, as I say, he's 12 points ahead in the championship coming into this weekend, but the drivers ahead of him aren't championship contenders, so this is not necessarily a disaster. The 2 behind him, the Gulf-coloured car of Adrian Maynard, the champion from 2 years ago, is involved, and that's Jason Rishover that's spinning, a man that won at Snetterton back in June. Oh, and problems here for the number 20 car, Richard Webb. He's picked up some damage. I wonder if it was his car then that we saw something flying off earlier on, but now there's smoke pouring from that car. It looks like that is tyre smoke from bodywork fouling the tyre rather than anything else. That's not going to help him. He's running in second place at the moment. I mentioned that Adrian Maynard, a championship contender, so too the car behind him, number 88, Richard Wise, and he's also been a winner during the course of this season. That victory came at Anglesey for the leading Spire contender in the championship this season. The Spire winning the title, of course, last year in the hands of Tim Gray, who is having a season out from competing. So up towards Redgate Corner they go. Round the outside goes Richard Wise, and he takes the place away from Adrian Maynard, the very experienced Adrian Maynard. Lovely move that for the Spire to go ahead. As in the inset there you can see that Charles Adrian is back out of the pit lane again, so possibly he's managed to resolve whatever problem he had or thought he had. So Maynard now is the driver that's having to play catch up to Richard Wise. Last lap of the race, and it's John Paul Ivy leading, but look who is in second place. It's been a wonderful drive this from Will Brown. He's picked them off one by one. There's been some drivers that have gone into retirement as well. We've lost Joe Stables, we've lost Richard Wise. We saw that spin for Jason Rishover, and Richard Webb has gone out of the race as well. But nevertheless, Will Brown has got within about a second of the race leader from the penultimate position on the grid. It's been a wonderful drive this. These 2 Radical PR6s then with their central driving positions doing battle through the last couple of corners. I don't think Will Brown is quite going to do it, but it's not for the want of trying on his part. Up to Goddard for the last time. Then if John Paul Ivy makes a mistake, Brown might be able to snatch something, but John Paul Ivy, the man from the West Midlands, does not do that. He goes through to take the checkered flag, and he wins round 13 of the Radical Owners Club Bikesports Championship. And this is Chris Preen coming through, and he is going to take 5th position, just behind Mike Davis, but only by 0.6 of a second. And Adrian Reynard rounds out the top 6. Confirmation of that result then. A great drive from John Paul Ivy to take the win, an even better drive from Will Brown to take 2nd place. John Paul Ivy got the fastest lap of the race, a 1:31.72, but outside Tim Gray's lap record. Thornhill, though, the championship leader, finishing ahead of most of his rivals in 3rd place. He extends his championship lead actually. Mike Davis 4th, Chris Preen 5th, Adrian Reynard rounding out the top 6.
John, great to see you back in the Bikesport Championship. What a way to come back.
Yeah, it's the first time I sat in the car for over a year, so I'm quite surprised about that. But after 4 laps, I had no brakes. I was having to pump the brakes all the way around. Some laps it would work, some laps I didn't think it was going to work. So I was like, please end this, let it end quick as possible. But no, really good result. I'd like to thank Tim Gray, who's put the car back together, Richard RLM, who's built me a pretty good engine by the look of it. So fantastic, thank you. You
had a nice lead part way through that race, right towards the end though, probably the brakes going as you said, but then Will Brown was on your tail.
Yeah, he was. I mean, I thought Will was going to catch me because of how early I was having to brake, because I'm just going to wave him past, but I saw the last lap board, I'm like, just don't foul me now, brakes, don't foul me now.
Join us again in a few moments' time for the Tagiwa Civic Cup. Two races to go in the 2016 Tagiwa Civic Cup, and the Class B Championship has already been resolved in favour of Carl Swift, but Class A is still to be decided. That's for the 1.6 litre cars, and coming into this weekend, just 4 points separating David Buki, Chris Kuma and Ben Sharp. Red lights go on and the race gets underway, and Ben Sharp it is on pole position. Doesn't make the best of starts. So it's Martin James from the outside of the front row. We've seen him out in the M3s already. He makes the best of the starts. Ben Sharp back to about 4th or 5th, I think, as they go through Redgate for the first time. But don't forget, there are 2 classes. Class A for the 1.6 litre cars, Class B for the more modern 2 litre cars, and points scored separately within each class. So it's where they finish relative to their classmates, if you like, that really matters. On board with number 5, Mark Hughes, who started well down the order on row 16 of this 30 plus car grid. That's the 20 car of Christian Line that's got it wrong through the old hairpin, drops back from that 4th row starting position, losing quite a few places, I should say. Martin James it is then that has the lead from Carl Swift, the man that clinched the championship just at the last meeting. He is in 2nd place though. There's Line on his recovery drive. These cars look absolutely fantastic. What can Mark Hughes do then in that car number 5? He's been a regular in the Civic Cup for a little while now. Good to just listen to these cars. Joe Locke, as you can see, right ahead of us in his orange car. Newcomer to the Civic Cup for this season, the man from Bebington. So James and Swift it is, the ex-stock hatch and auto grass race that goes through. It looks like Danny Winstanley there in 3rd position and Ben Sharp in 4th, and crucially at the head of Class A. Chris Kuma, you just saw there, the number 55 car, the white car with the black roof. He's the 3rd of the potential Class A champions, but he started back on row 5 for this race. Buki was on row 3, and Ben Sharp, the Northampton driver, as I said, was on pole position, but has dropped back down to 4th place now, and it might be 5th before too much longer. Indeed, it is 5th position, because that's Mark Rice, number 34, that has gone through, and there's Buki. So Buki pretty much right behind Ben Sharp now, and he will be a threat, make no mistake about that, before this race is much older. That's the 77 car, the sinister looking black machine of Dan Reason, and he's just ahead now of number 5 Mark Hughes. So you can see Mark has made up several places in the early stages of this race. There's Cooper just going through shot now, just in behind the James Griffith number 27 car, one of the more modern cars, the red car with the yellow sign writing on it. And that looks like Mervyn Beckett going through there in the number 32 car. That's the ex-Andrew Gorgler machine. He's made the switch from Class A to Class B part way through the season. Ex-classic stock hatch racer. So Martin James, number 90, it is that leads. Carl Swift, number 45, is in second place. And then by the looks of it, it's Danny Winstanley in third place. Gap opening up now between the top two. Carl Swift outbrakes himself, does he? He's gone very deep into the corner. Mark Grice, meanwhile, has made a bit more progress. He's now side by side for third position with Danny Winstanley. Winstanley having won lots of Civic races in the past. He's won races in TVRs as well, doing a lot in Caterham 7s at the moment as well in the CSCC Magnificent 7 series. Here's Hughes, our onboard camera car, making his way around the Melbourne hairpin. So he's a little bit behind the leaders, probably around about 300 yards or so at the moment. He's climbing back up to the Goddard's left-hander. And he goes. Oh, and who's that ahead of us? It's the number 3 car, which is Luca Diella. The driver from Seaford's had a moment, but has got back on circuit in front of us. Well, this is that battle for third position then. It's between Grice and Winstanley and Ben Sharp. It looks like Tom Bell now has made his way into 6th position. Tom Bell, who's been racing hot hatch during the course of this season. Look at this, side by side for, well, what is now second position, because Carl Swift has dropped back. So it's James leading, and now it's Mark Grice, number 34, that goes through into second position. Mark Grice, coming to the end of his first season of racing in the Takiwa Civic Cup, had a good first meeting at Alton Park in wet conditions. They suited his driving style, having come from autograss. And now he's learning the circuits a bit more and going really well here at Donington Park this weekend. Up to second position now. He qualified on row 3 but didn't make the best of starts necessarily, so he's had to claw his way back up the order, and he's now ahead of the much more experienced Danny Winstanley. And Carl Swift in 4th, Ben Sharp 5th, and there's Tom Bell, the ex-stock hatch champion, in 6th position in that plain white, looking like it's rolled straight out of the production line and had some stickers put on it, number stickers put on the side of it. There's Buki, who's not really catching the Class A leader, and there's Chris Coomer, number 55, and he's doing battle with Treble 2, which is Matthew Ellis. So he's embroiled in battles with Class B cars rather than focused on trying to catch his Class A rivals, which is what he really needs to do. If it stays like this, he'll concede the lead in Class A going into the final round of the season, which will take place later on this afternoon. But there is Treble 2, Matthew Ellis, the driver from Sevenoaks in Kent, just behind Chris Coomer, number 55 from Preston. He's won 4 times this season in Class A, Buki 3 times, and Ben Sharp 5. Ooh, was there even a little bit of contact there? There may just have been. If it was very light and certainly not intentional, but it looks like that bumper may be deranged on the front of Chris Coomer's car, or it might be an optical illusion. Now the other car involved in all of this, look for number 44, which is Mark Higginson, brother of the RGB champion Matt Higginson, who had a win in the early part of this season but has not done the majority of the rounds this year. That's the fight for 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Grice, Winstanley and Carl Swift making their way through the Craner curves once again. Winstanley, I wonder if he's got something up his sleeve in that SW Motorsport car that he's running in this weekend. Can he fight back to try and get back ahead of Mark Grice? There though is the race leader, number 90, Martin James, who's not done all of the races this season by any stretch of the imagination, but he has had a win last time out at Rockingham, and he's had 4 other podium finishes, so the races that he has done has been reasonably successful in. And now Winstanley has fallen to the back of the group. He's fallen behind Carl Swift, and Tom Bell you can see there in 5th position, and in 6th place is the yellow car of Ben Sharp, who is still leading Class A. One thing of note here as we look at the damage on the front of Luca Diella's car, not quite sure how that occurred. Maybe it was the off at Goddard's a few laps ago. Possibly he made contact with something, and one through the gravel there at McLean's is number 52, which is William Beach. Well, he's found the beach, hasn't he? Up there at McLean's. He started on row 13. Here is Martin James, though, with actually Mark Grice closing down on him now in the closing stages of this race. So we may yet have a challenge for the lead before the end of it. Oh, and someone out braking themselves. That's one of the Class A cars. Getting back on track. There's Mervyn Beckett having a good battle, and another driver which is in big problems there. That is number 53, which is Paul Bancroft, the man from High Peak, in one of the area motorsport run cars, one of the Rob Baker prepared machines. But Mervyn Beckett certainly having a good old scrap right in the middle of the field. Last lap board is out now, by the way. He's doing battle with that battle-scarred Luca Diella, number 3. As I think for position just outside the top 20. Someone's bumper has gone through Burton as well, and is now precariously in the middle of the circuit. Green flags waved by the marshals. Oh, there's probable owner of that bumper, by the way, just going past it. Oh, and problems. I did see some smoke a second ago. That's for number 20, Christian Line. He looks to have had an engine issue, possibly out of the race now. Into the final couple of corners they go, and it is, I think, going to be Martin James that goes through to take the checkered flag. Yes, he does, but not by very much in the end from Mark Grice. He takes second, and there is the... Oh, is this a problem? No, I don't think it is a problem for Ben Sharp. He wins Class A, but the reason that Ben Sharp was doing that was to make up a place on the reverse grid for race 2. Very canny driving from Ben Sharp, but Martin James it was that took the win. He got the fastest lap as well, a 1 minute 50.93, average of just over 80 miles an hour. Grice second, Swift third, Win Stanley fourth. Class A winner, well, that was indeed Ben Sharp from David Buki, and Chris Coomer in 11th position, so he just misses out on that top 10 bubble, pipped at the post by Mark Higginson. David Vincent 12th, Tim Evans 13th, he's been a winner this season. John Peerless and Simon Weiss round out the top 15.
A great way to start the day with a win.
Oh, that was absolutely brilliant. Had a fantastic few races with Carl at the beginning, and that was really what I set out to do this weekend, was have a good race in the dry with Carl, and he drove absolutely fantastic. So much pressure, so fair. It was really good, really, really good.
He tried a move, it went a little bit wrong, didn't it? Knocked up.
Did he? Oh, right, okay. I didn't realise. But he caught up so quickly again. Unfortunately, my steering wheel folded in halfway through the race. Wow. Yeah, not had that one before, so it's interesting.
Well, you took it in your stride and you pick up the win.
It's great. It's such a good win. Thank you.
Well done, Martin. Good luck for race number 2. Let's have a quick chat as well with Mark Grice as well. Mark, pop in here if you wouldn't mind. Second place, and I think you had to work for that one, didn't you?
Yeah, I certainly did. Danny Winstanley, I think it was, has come into this weekend, and he was always quick last year in the Civic Cup from me watching it. And so I knew it was going to be a challenge with a big grid, but yeah, over the moon. I think that's my best finish so far in the Civic Cup this year, my first year of doing it, so I'm almost secured second place, just one more race to go.
Yeah, that's the thing you're looking for, is runners-up spot, isn't it?
It certainly is, yeah. I'm real good friends with Carl. We did autograss racing together, so to come into this, and he's helped me through this, so to get second would be for him as well.
Good stuff. Well done to you, Mark Grice, and third place, Carl Swift. Come here, Carl, have a quick chat with us. You tried for it, you went for that lead, didn't you? But you made a slight mistake at Melbourne Hairpin.
Yeah, cracking race. I was struggling locking up into Melbourne Hairpin every time. I think it's a bit over braked on front. I'm trying to put some more rear in it, but what a race. Had a battle with first, second, third and fourth.
It's always eventful in Civic Cup, that's why we love it. Race 2 to come, last one of the season. What are you going to go for?
I'm going for a win. Everyone's going for the win.
Well, good luck, Carl. All the best.
Brilliant, cheers.
Great round at Rockingham. Not a bad day here at Donington so far.
No, yeah, very good. Happy with pole this morning in the slippery conditions. In the wet, I knew I was going to get eaten by the 2 litre cars at the start, and I made a really poor start myself, and made it hard work. And after that, I was just trying to manage the gap, because for the top 10 for the reverse grid, we wanted to make sure that my rivals, who I've got to beat in the next race, are not too far. So if I'm right, I think Chris is on pole I think Buki's second, and I'm third and fourth. So it's going to be neck and neck, and whoever wins the next one wins the title. So.